Hey guys, Zack here, and welcome back to another action figure review, and today we'll be taking a look at the Jurassic World Dino Rivals Duel Attack Concavenator. Now, this is actually the first time we've gotten a figure of a Concavenator in the Jurassic Park franchise, and once again, I know I've said this plenty of times in the past, but I just want to quickly bring this up now. I think that Mattel, in terms of giving us different dinosaur species, I think they are doing a great job with giving us things that are truly unique. And I really do like that, so, yeah. Anyway, out of the way, let's just, take a look at the collector's card. And you've seen it before. Really nice artwork. In fact, I'd even argue that the art here looks a little better than the actual figure. Not to say the figure looks bad or anything like that, but this just looks a little better. Also, it looks like they kind of traced over CG renders of Blue for Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. I don't know if that's just me, but yeah. But anyway, stats, and you've seen this before. These collector's cards, I'm not going to lie, not a big fan of. And again, I know I always say this, but Kenner did a much better job with these. So, yeah. Anyway, the Concavenator itself. First, we'll take a look at the painting here. And the painting on this figure, for the most part, is good. There are some minor spots where it doesn't look great, but for the most part, it looks nice. In fact, it actually looks pretty similar to the Styracosaurus that I reviewed last time, just a little more bright with its colors. So, yeah. Anyway, most of the body here is a greenish color, which does look nice. And going to the face here, we can see some red around the eye, which again, looks pretty nice. And speaking of the eyes themselves are painted yellow with black pupils. The inside of the mouth is painted a pinkish color and has a little bit of a wet finish to it, which I do like. However, the inside of the mouth, underneath the tongue, is painted yellow, which is a little weird, but whatever. The teeth are painted a bonish white. However, for some reason here, the paint was not really applied correctly, so we just have green teeth here, which looks kind of weird. Going to this sail spine thing, whatever you want to call this, we do have some different shades of red, which does look nice, and the tail has some different shades of yellow as well. Unfortunately, the toenails and fingernails once again are not painted, but honestly, that's to be expected at this point, so yeah. And that's pretty much it for the painting on this figure, and the painting on this figure, for the most part, is pretty good. Yeah, I know I always say this. It would be nice if the fingernails and toenails were painted and the teeth could look a little cleaner, but for the most part, the painting on this figure does look nice. So the painting here, I'd say gets a pass. Now I'll take a look at the articulation, and the articulation, again, is good. Not bad, but, it's good. There is one thing I actually don't like, though, but we'll talk about that in a second. But first, let's go over the basic articulation. The arms can move 360 and move outwards, like so. And the legs can spread and move 360 as well. Which, by the way, I forgot to bring this up when I was talking about the paint. Here's the scan code and the Jurassic World logo. So, yeah. So that's it for that. We have two buttons here. If you push this, you get a little bit of a chomping action, which is neat. Nothing special. Something I've noticed, when you do close the mouth, it's a little, not lined up, so you do have to, adjust it a little when you do keep it closed, but, not the end of the world. And then if you push down on his, again, I don't know what this is called. If you push down on this, he does a little bit of a tail whip, which I would be fine with, but the spring inside the tail, I feel is way too weak. So, yeah, I'm just going to show you really quick. I'm putting no effort into this. Just very easily just pushing the tail back and forth. The tail is way too loose. And just way too, flimsy. And, on its side, yeah. Definitely would have been better if this was, stronger. But that's just me. I mean, it makes sense, I guess, but I don't know. I wish this was a little stronger, but yeah, I don't know. Anyway, that's pretty much it for the articulation. And the articulation on this figure, for the most part, is basic. It's pretty much what you would expect, so not bad. The articulation, I'd say gets a pass. Now take a look at the sculpt, and the sculpting on this figure, for the most part, looks nice. I mean, yeah, from the front, this figure does look a little thick, but, you know, not the end of the world. It's still not bad at all. There is one thing that I do not understand. Like, if you look at the hands here, I'm just gonna position it like that. They gave this thing thumbs, which does not make sense. First of all, the animal itself did not have 4 fingers. It had 3. But, like, they also decided, you know, let's just give it a thumb. Which makes no sense. I just think that looks really weird and really out of place for this figure. You know, maybe... It looks weird. It looks like, kind of reminds me of, like a Nintendo character. Like, something like, I don't know, Bowser or King K. Rool or something like that. But here, like, it just looks weird here, is all I'm trying to say. So, yeah, not a big fan of the whole thumb thing going on, but honestly, I guess, like, I don't know, it looks very weird, but the rest of the sculpting, it does look very good still. Not perfect still, but good nonetheless. So, the sculpting on this figure, I'd say gets a quarter, or I'd say it gets 3/4 of a pass. Not a quarter, 3/4. The sculpting is not bad at all. Now I'll take a look at the detailing, and the detail on this figure is also not bad. Not perfect. There are some spots where they definitely could have touched up a little more, but for the most part, not bad. Going to the head here, we can see all of the scaling, increasing and whatnot, which actually does look very nice, very well defined. And even in the mouth, the tongue there looks very nicely defined. So yeah, I do like that. And some more very nice scaling, increasing, going down the neck here. On the side of the body, we do have a fair bit of musculature, as well as some really nice scaling, which once again looks great. And quickly going to the arms here, all the scaling here looks very well defined. Like, that actually looks very good, so I really do like that. And the hands themselves, even though there's like a seam right here, they still look alright. The detailing on the legs also look great. Very nice musculature, nice detailing, very well defined. I know I say that a lot when I talk about the detailing, but the defining here does look very nice, and especially in the feet here, like, that looks like, that, I mean, like, between the toes, like, not so much, but, like, the actual toes themselves look very nice. So anyway, the sail spine, whatever you want to call this, looks alright. It looks better on camera, but in person, it could look a little better, but still not bad. And all of the detailing on the tail also looks pretty good. The scaling, the musculature, everything here looks great. And that's pretty much it for the detail on this figure. And the detail on this figure isn't terrible, but it's definitely not great either. So the detail on this figure, I'd say it gets a pass. It still looks nice, but it definitely could be a little better. But still, it gets a full pass. So, at the end of the day, should you get this? Honestly, I'd say yeah. It's not a perfect figure by any means. It definitely does have its issues, but for the most part, I do think that the overall figure itself is very nice. I like the color scheme. I like, you know, for the most part, the sculpt. It's a fine figure. They actually did make a repaint of this, which is a lot more like vibrant and colorful, which I wasn't really a big fan of. And at first I didn't want this figure. It just like didn't interest me at all. And then like I wanted it after seeing the repaint because I really didn't like how the repainted version of this looked. So one day while walking to Target, it was just sitting there, and it was the only one there. So I thought, you know what, I'm probably never going to get this opportunity again, so I think I have no choice but to get this. So I did just that, and I'm glad I bought this. This is a pretty nice figure. Again, it has its flaws, but as far as Mattel Jurassic World figures go, this is definitely not bad. So, yeah. In terms of prices, you're looking at about $14, which is honestly not bad at all. You could do much worse with that kind of money, so $14 for this is honestly not terrible whatsoever. Online, it might be a little more expensive, but if you can find this in stores, then honestly, like, if you can find this for $14, then definitely go for it. And even, like, you know, if you do have to pay something like $20, $25, like, it's still not the end of the world, but definitely do try to pay for the full $14. Don't pay for more. pay for less if you can. Obviously, like with most figures, if you can get them for a cheap price, then definitely go for it. But, you know, if you can get it for the regular price, like, don't pay more than $14 is all I can say. So, yeah. Anyway, get this figure if you can. And if you want to know how big it is, and here it is next to Dr. Billy Grant. And I feel like the animal itself is a little too big. The animal in real life was a little smaller than this, but this is not a problem. I can honestly live with this. So, yeah. And for more of a size comparison, here is some hand sanitizer. I know I always say this, but please be safe. Use hand sanitizer. Be clean. You know, especially right now when I'm recording this. It might get worse. What's going on with the whole coronavirus. That could get worse, but at the same time, by some miracle, if I'm, you know, uploading this, or when I do upload this, and it just so happens that everything is, like, you know, over with now, still, keep clean, don't be gross. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that'll happen, but still. It's March when I'm recording this. March 17th, to be exact, which is a day after my birthday. So, yeah. Again, only time will tell, but, yeah. Anyway, that is it for today. Have a great rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, Zack out.